Good evening and welcome to day 9 of my quarantine under coronavirus and my vlog where we discuss ways to make our lives happier, healthier, and more productive while on quarantine. Today's episode is going to discuss briefly possible positive side effects of this entire global crisis in the longer run, as well as go into a top 10 list of some environmental positive changes that you can make at home during this time, both for during the time you're in quarantine and instituting more longer lasting initiatives that will help the environment in the longer run. The current crisis is incredibly sad and incredibly serious, and I hope everybody is doing as much as they can to prevent any further spread of coronavirus. That all said, I think we should look at what positives might be there in the longer term. Primarily, the climate has seen some positive impacts in the last month or so. The reduction in international air travel, the reduction in coal-fired electricity, and some manufacturing processes, for instance, in the industrial heartland of China, where severe restrictions on movement had actually led to visible improvements in air quality. All these things are leading towards what will likely be the sharpest reduction in greenhouse gas emissions globally, probably since the fall of the Berlin Wall, and probably one of the lowest years in terms of emissions for at least a decade. Net benefit of this is that we might see longer term changes that will improve the overall climate change scenario. Hopefully will put us back on track towards a maximum 2 degree temperature change because people will be more willing to accept the measures that will be needed in order to move us towards a decreased greenhouse gas emission environment, one where perhaps people make choices about their international travel, where people do some small things at home, where people buy electric cars and use renewable energy and ask their governments to shut down the coal plants, etc., because they've seen that some small restrictions in our own lives can actually better things for the world at large. What we're doing now in terms of quarantine isn't for us, it's for everybody else. It's to ensure that we aren't being vectors for coronavirus, just the same way that these sacrifices might make it easier for some of us to accept similar sacrifices in terms of our lives that currently are impacting the environment negatively, especially in terms of our emissions.